Hey guys, we're live. How's it going, Brandon? That's the backside of Brandon.
Hello.
This is my front side.
You see
We're
my
live.
flat butt.
That flat, unrotund. What's the opposite of rotund? Flat, I guess. Welcome to the free show pre-show, brought to you by
Brandon's
us.
flat butt.
Flat butt.
Flatbutt.com.
Not a sponsor.
Oh my god. Yeah, you think
What do you think the odds are that flatbutt.com is a reputable site?
A reputable site or a site that exists?
Reputable.
Oh, that's a good question.
That's right. Throwing that curveball out there, Brandon.
I don't know. We could check. I'll Google it real fast. Oh, there's 4.3. That's the dimensions of 4.3. Flatbutt.com. I'm spelling out dot and com. Okay, it doesn't exist, but there is flat butt syndrome. It's a thing. There's an article that says sitting is ruining your butt.
Oh, that's right.
Flat butt causes for men and women, and exercises. That's a weird title. It says causes for men and women and exercises.
All right.
So it's like, exercises get flat butt too.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Here are the causes that exercises get flat butts.
It can happen. It can happen.
Hey,
get
Brian.
Ready. Hey. Hank Hill breathes in propane.
This is the first time we've been live streaming on Facebook. This is the first time.
That's right.
Ever.
Hey, welcome to Facebook. Don't worry, I'm sure everything's gonna be fine. All right. We're talking. Y'all talking about secretary spread? What? What is this? I don't know. We're going to talk about a lot of things tonight. So thank you for joining us. If you're here for the first time, you guys are amazing. But we're about to start an episode of Interdimensional RSS. So Brandon, are you ready? Are you feeling good?
Am I ready? I was born for this. All Maybelline.
Right.
Did you start recording on Reaper yet?
No.
Okay, neither have I. All right. Well, that's our show.
All right, thanks for coming, guys. Until next time. You ready to start recording?
4, 3, 2, 1. Boom. Now we're recording on Reaper.
Now we're recording. Now it's a podcast. Just need to take a little bit of water.
Aww. Yeah. Oh, wrong one.
D-Squeeze now hosting the stream. Thank you, D-Squeeze.
Heyo!
Thanks for always supporting and making sure those Rick and Morty gifs show up on the screen. All right. You ready?
Am I ever? I'm stoked. I am stoked for this.
Let's do this.
All right, here we go.
You asked for it. Here it is. It's a podcast from Apathetic Enthusiasm.
Coming to you live from a universe where physical copies of TV and movies are purchased and stored in homes across the galaxy. What kind of witchcraft is this? Are we dinosaurs? No, this is Interdimensional RSS, the unofficial Rick and Morty podcast.
Hello, everybody. I am Travis.
I am Brandon. Oh, for a second, I was like, yeah, no, he's going to introduce me.
We always introduce ourselves. It's part of the give and take here, Brandon. Here on Interdimensional RSS, the unofficial Rick and Morty podcast. So happy to be back with everybody, whether you are joining us live on a multitude of different options, which we will get to some of those in just a moment, or if you're joining us on the audio version of the podcast. So great to be back with you. So great to have you listening. We are still in existence. We're still here, and we are looking for ways to bring you some, relevant Rick and Morty content, and something to distract you from whatever else might be going on in the world. And so here we are. We're making an episode. Thank you guys for joining us. If you want to keep up with us on the social internet and all of the things that we might be doing, make sure to follow us over on Twitter at Rick and Morty Pod. You can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Rick and Morty Podcast, where you can apparently now catch live streams of this show on Monday night because Brandon works some sort of internet magic. And then you can also send us an email, rickandmortypodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on the web, rickandmortypodcast.reddit.com. That is our subreddit. You can also find us lurking about at rickandmorty.reddit.com, the official Rick and Morty subreddit. And, of course, all of our podcasts, for Interdimensional RSS, are on rickandmortypod.com. The other website, apatheticenthusiasm.com. It's there. We've been churning out a ton of Apathetic Enthusiasm episodes. If you miss us personally, you personally miss us, check out Apathetic Enthusiasm. And then, of course, we're streaming live. The two best places to interact with the show live Monday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, is youtube.com/Apathetic Enthusiasm or over at twitch.tv/Apathetic Enthusiasm. So happy for everybody, or to see everybody that's joining us tonight. The chat is blowing up already. We will get to you soon. We will get to you soon. You can also support this.
Hey, Travis. I want to throw something out to you real fast. I'm gonna disappear for a half a second. Technical issues.
Oh my gosh! You
keep talking. It's fine,
guys. All right. Brandon's gonna leave. He may or may not have some digestive issues. We will get to that later. I will utilize this time to mention that you can also support the podcast monetarily by going to our TeePublic page. That's at apatheticenthusiasm.com/shop. You can get t-shirts with our face on it. You can get all sorts of curated Rick and Morty t-shirts out there. Some of that will go back to supporting our program. You can also go to patreon.com/apatheticenthusiasm, which is our Patreon. We've completely changed the Patreon. There's tons of different tiers and different bonuses, exclusive podcasts and pre-show videos, all sorts of fun stuff over there. Head over to patreon.com/apatheticenthusiasm for all of that. All right, I'm done talking. Brandon is back. How the heck are you? How you feeling?
I am feeling fantastic. So sorry, I went away for a second. I have a Wi-Fi extender for my work computer for a VPN thing, and my
2020. Am I right, guys?
my laptop sometimes automatically connects to that instead of my actual router. And so it's like bureaucracy, right? It's like bureaucracy, just layers and layers of protocols and packets of information. It's frustrating. I'm a Scrum Master now. I don't know if I told you that.
Congrats. Did it hurt?
I don't want to talk about that. I'm excited to talk about Rick and Morty. Let's talk about that, Travis.
Well, Brandon, I don't know if you recall, but the first thing we do to talk about Rick and Morty is jumping into our first segment, semi-pertinent news.
It's semi-pertinent news going into your holes. Your brain folds holes. Semi-pertinent news. Yeah, that's it.
Yep, that's it. That's the show, guys. We're back. We're bringing you the same content as always.
Yeah.
That's right, guys. Semi-pertinent news. And we've got some real pertinent news for you. If you are a fan of this show, then you have heard us talking about Adult Swim festivals, the Adult Swim Fest in the past. Well, it's back. We got the chance to attend the very first Adult Swim Fest out in LA. They did another one last year. Obviously, because of the state of the world and our country specifically, we are not able to do an Adult Swim Fest in person. So Adult Swim Fest 2020 has gone completely online, November 13th and 14th. Available streaming on YouTube or at adultswimfestival.com. Brandon, are you hyped for the fest?
Am I hyped for the fest? It it brings me happy thoughts thinking about Adult Swim Fest, about the times that we hung out in person with a bunch of other folks. I saw Nico Case. I had a funnel cake at some point in time.
There was a funnel cake. That's right. That was like the last thing we did in an empty parking lot when all the merch was sold out.
It was the last thing, and like Nico Case and the funnel cake were at the exact same time. So 13th, 14th for it to be all online. I'm looking forward to seeing what they push out as far as some of the live music, and of course the semi pertinent piece for us is Rick and Morty. Whatever kind of event they're going to have there at the YouTubes.
At the YouTube. Yeah.
There is a vague hope or maybe an optimistic thought that we'll get a sneak preview at least of the upcoming season 5. I maybe they'll have Zoom and Dan or some of the artists will introduce it. I don't know. The world's our oyster.
Who knows? We do know, having been announced so far, Robin Presents, Club Domino, Mastodon. Those are the two headlining musical acts. There are panels and streams for Rick and Morty, the Eric Andre Show. Run the Jewels is presenting a Cyberpunk 2077 music video type thing.
You're breathtaking.
What?
You're breathtaking.
I'm breathtaking.
Yeah, it's a Cyberpunk thing.
Oh, okay. And much more available. The full lineup has not been announced, but if you register at adultswimfestival.com, you will be one of the first to know the full and final lineup for this, which is only, like a couple weeks away. So make sure you're checking it out. Final thought on this is, as we talked about with the first Adult Swim Fest, merchandise. Merch is huge at these things, and they typically have some pretty awesome merch available at the fest. Obviously, you can't get it in person, but that doesn't mean you will go without. If you go to the website, they have all kinds of great festival merch. There's a particular art style to Adult Swim Fest that I kind of enjoy. There's a cat theme that is persistent throughout. You can get your 32-ounce water bottle, your festival face masks, socks. There's a Space Ghost t-shirt that I'm particularly fond of. But lots of great stuff on there. There's also some mystery items. Pringles. You can get some Pringles, a Rick and Morty Rubik's Cube.
I followed the link. I followed that Pringle link that's on the merchandise, and it sends you to the Walmart website to order local batches of Pringles.
All right. Okay. So, all right, maybe you could just go to Walmart to get them. But there is merch available out there. So check it out. If you are planning to watch the event, hit us up. Let us know. Maybe we can do some sort of chat or something to discuss it. Yeah, double date. We'll meet up at the virtual fest and hang out. Let us know that you're going. But yeah, that's it. Any other thoughts on festivals, Brandon?
Yeah, mentioning Scary Terry Folds, the Wrangler releases their denim jacket of Rick and Morty. That is also on the merchandise site. I had a denim jacket at one point in my life. I like them on my legs. I think I look better with denim on my legs.
You're a strictly leg denim sort of guy.
Yeah,
I there's a lot of people in my circles of influence that own and will regularly wear a denim jacket, and I looked to my wife and I said, "Wife, am I the type of person that can wear a denim jacket?" And she looked at me and she said, "No." So I do not own nor plan to buy a denim jacket. But for all of you hip kids out there, denim. Go get it.
Go get it. Speaking of go get it, if you're caught up on season 4, if you said to yourself, where can I watch season 4, and you also said to yourself, what am I doing with this HBO Max subscription? Well, we have some good news for you. Season 4 is now on HBO Max.
There it is. Along with all of the rest of Rick and Morty,
That's right.
you can also catch all 10 episodes of season 4 on HBO Max. Apparently, they don't bleep out all the cuss words because it's HBO, so it's already better than Adult Swim. I mean, you didn't hear us say it. You didn't hear us say it.
We didn't say that out loud. I will say there's a certain charm about bleeping out cuss words, like Reno 911, when like all the bleeping, all the blooping, right? But then I got the DVDs, and then they took all the bleeps and bloops out, and so you hear them doing a lot of the cussing. And I was like, you know what? It's kind of funnier. It's kind of funnier when they're not cussing all the time.
Yeah, all the bleeps and the bloops and the what is it, the squeeps and the squirps and
Mother Uckas. It's like the Mother Uckas song.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes the comedy is in what's not there instead of what is. But I mean, it's the same great 10 episodes available out there for your streaming pleasure if you have an HBO Max subscription. If you don't, then you'll really like the main thing, because we're going to talk about another option to watch Rick and Morty season 4. But before we get to that, let's address the potato crisps in the room and talk a little bit more about the Rick and Morty Pringles. I feel like we've talked about this several times, but some of this may have happened on Apathetic Enthusiasm. But if you go to Walmart, you can buy chips. There are 3 varieties of exclusive special edition Rick and Morty Pringles. There is, of course, the Pickle Rick flavor can of Pringles available in a not green screen on my side of the window. These are pickle flavored, as to be expected. You can also get honey mustard Morty flavor, which is a honey mustard. And then finally, look at me. I'm cheddar sour cream, the Meeseeks Pringles can. We obviously have tried all of these. We have all of them. I gotta know, Brandon, what is your favorite flavor of the 3 special edition Pringles?
Oh man. This is a tough one, because the Meeseeks cheddar and sour cream are they're so good. The sweet honey mustard Morty ones, I ate 2 of them, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I could dig this. And then I wanted so many more. I wanted all of them. I wanted the crisps in my mouth. So it's probably the cheddar sour cream is like sour cream and onion, which it's a go-to. But I think I was surprised by the mustard, and so I'm gonna give it a point. I'm gonna give it a point above.
Pickle is right out. You're just like, no pickle, get out of here.
I only had 2 of those chips.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, while I enjoy an artificially flavored pickle snack, I have to go with the Meeseeks. Look at me, I'm cheddar sour cream. Those are my favorite. They're my family's favorite. I probably only got maybe like a fifth of the can because the rest of my family devoured them. But they're very good. They're very good. So if you want to buy them, if you can get them in your local Walmart store, they're decent as far as Pringles go. Like, they're Pringles, but you're getting some decent flavors and not just cool cans that you can display in your podcast background on your internet podcast show that you make. But yeah, Pringles are there. They got a whole deal with Pringles, and they're not going anywhere. So make sure to get your Pringles. Not a sponsor.
Scary Terry mentions in chat, F the pickle flavored because they are just vinegar. True, with a little bit of dill. With a little bit of dill.
There's some dill in there. I mean, it's not a big dill. Yeah. All right, okay. We're back, guys. We're back in full form here.
we're out of here. Okay. Well, I do have one more thing before we get into the main stuff that we do. There are a couple of comics out, Rick and Morty wise. There is Rick and Morty Go to Hell, which issue 5 is out. I haven't read any of them, but I'm collecting them because I have too much disposable income. And then Rick and Morty Ever After, which I also haven't read, but those are out on comic book shelves everywhere. If you have read them and you have been keeping up, let me know. Let me know what you think of the storylines. And a side note, Welsh Girl in chat mentioning can't find those Pringles in Canada. I don't know if there's Walmarts in Canada, and that's the only place they're selling them.
Yeah,
Walmart
stores. That's the
Wally
only.
World.
Yeah, so yeah, maybe you can smuggle into the United States. Just don't do that. Just
just don't do that.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
Last thing, Travis, before I forget, it wouldn't be an episode of Interdimensional RSS if we didn't do the bit that everybody is clamoring for every episode, and that is the Dan Harmon social media minute.
Dan.
That's
Dan is on Instagram, and that's pretty much this whole segment.
That seemed like cheating. It's cheating because he stole that song from an earlier Denim joke.
Yeah, I know I did. I know. It's the Dan Harmon social media minute, guys. Listen, the best art is steal or something like that. I read that on a Pringles can somewhere. Let's talk about Dan Harmon on Instagram at Dan Harmon. He recently posted, this is actually his most recent post on Instagram, and it is a Zoom call with some nondescript community college attendees, more specifically a great deal of the cast of the show Community coming together to do a Zoom call to talk about voting. If you have not seen this, it's pretty good. It's pretty funny. They don't mention any of the characters' names or anything that's like super specific to the show. Abed is very much like calling that out and saying, "Oh, okay, like we can't say who we are because of legal reasons and things like that." But this was a segment that was written at least in part by Dan Harmon, and he shared it on his Instagram. It is promoting vote.org and promoting people to get out and vote. I believe it is sponsored by the Biden campaign. But as we are, a few hours from Election Day here in the United States, we would like to encourage everybody to get out to vote. If you are hearing this on Election Day, if you're listening to this in line to go vote, right on. Way to go. Stay strong. Keep it up. But yeah, get out and vote because time is running out. And and that's the Dan Harmon social media minute.
There it is. Thank you so much for that. I think it's really cool. Those live events, those live script reads. Like I saw the Wet Hot American Summer live script read with David Wayne, Michael Ian Black, Paul Rudd, all those folks. And then the other day we watched Seth Rogen, Jonah Hill doing Superbad. And that was really, really cool too. So anyways, those things, fun.
All those celebrities at home making entertainment over Zoom, just like we've been doing for years.
I like to think that they took some hints.
Yeah, I got a call. I don't know if you got a call. I got a call. But anyway, we don't need to get into it. What we do need to get into is the central part of this episode. The reason you guys are here. It's time for the main thing.
Tick 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 tock tick 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 tock tick 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 tock. It's a main thing. It's a main thing. Tick ticky tock tick tick ticky tocky tick tick tock tick tick ticky tocky main thing. Waka waka. That's it.
All right, guys.
Ticky tocky. It's been a long time, so we have to have like a clock.
Yeah, you're really into the social media app TikTok. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's you're
All
so into it, Brandon.
all my Instagrams, people are like, "Oh, you've been watching a lot of TikTok, have you?" I'm like, no, that's just how
No, this
stupid.
has just been my style of humor for the last 30 years, guys. Sorry.
Uh, well,
Yeah.
well, it is the main thing. This is why we're talking 30 minutes into an episode, and the main thing today is is the Blu-ray, the season 4 of Rick and Morty Blu-ray that came out in September. Um, I just picked it up. I just picked it up today. Travis, you picked it up right away.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
G- do you make it a habit of buying hard copy of shows slash movies still?
Only the shows that I run a semi-successful podcast about. Those are the only shows that I make sure to purchase physical copies of. That, and if any show that I spent the better course of my life obsessing about, and then like having friends over to watch, like Lost. Those are the ones where I'm like, yes, I'm gonna buy the Blu-ray. I mean, really, the fact that we do this show and Rick and Morty has become such a big part of who we are and what we do. Yeah, I like having physical copies of the Blu-ray. Just to kind of have it on hand. You never know. Somebody drop by. They don't have an HBO Max subscription. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? Are you gonna use your in-laws cable subscription to watch it on the Adult Swim app? Who knows?
That's
Who knows?
that in that purely hypothetical scenario. Yes. Uh, but yeah, I do buy the Blu-rays. I made sure to get it very early. Unfortunately, I don't know if I didn't get it early enough, if I didn't, snag a pre-order or not. In past Blu-ray collections, there have been little bonuses included. I know you have the Good Morty track hanging up right by your podcast station there from the season 1 Blu-ray. I think you could get, a Morty Adventure card is available in, I think, the second season.
Yeah. I didn't get that one.
And so there's been some goodies in there. I wanted to pick it up early, and alas, nothing super fun inside the Blu-ray. But I will say the box art is terrific. It looks great. It actually tells a little bit more of a story from I think it's the first episode of the season with that blue cat dude.
Chachi?
Chachi. There's a little bit more backstory to that just in the box art. So that's fun. But yeah, it's one of those things where, I'm going to have a collection of 70 episodes or 100 episodes by the time this show is done, in Blu-ray form, and then my grandkids can be like, why does Granddad keep those old plastic discs around? And be like, well, let me tell you about a podcast before the apocalypse.
The apodcalypse.
Write that down. Hold on.
I think it has to be something already. Yeah, it's like all the VHS tapes I still have from years and years, and like whenever I move, that's like the heaviest set of boxes is my VHS.
You're still
collection.
lugging VHSs around?
I am, yeah. I still have a Blu-ray VHS combo player. But yeah, there is something about owning physical medium. I think there was an article actually on bloodydisgusting.com the other day with the editor-in-chief just saying like, hey, you need physical copies of this medium, because if you even if you buy it from like Amazon or on wherever you're purchasing it digitally, if they were ever to go out of business or the servers went down, whatever, you technically don't actually own that thing you bought, that show. You don't actually own it. You bought the rights to watch it, to stream it from that place.
Yep.
And so buying the physical medium that ensures that you will have it in perpetuity. or until Blu-rays are no longer.
And that's when I keep my Blu-ray drive for my computer. That's an external, so that I can plug it into. So long as USB sticks around, I think I'm safe for a while. But anyway, we're not here to talk about the death of physical media. What we're here to talk about is some bonus features. Anytime you buy a Blu-ray, hopefully you are in luck because you get some bonus features. With this particular Blu-ray collection, I'm gonna be real honest. It's not a lot in terms of bonus features. There's a lot of stuff on here, not a lot of exclusives, right? Not a lot of things that you can only get on the Blu-ray. There's tons of behind the scenes discussions and talks with the creators and the crew, talking about what went into the various episodes and things like that. But a lot of that was featured on Adult Swim and on their social media throughout the fourth season. So a lot of that stuff is just high def versions of things you can find on YouTube.
That's right. You know, we talked about if you watch something digitally, you don't technically own it. Well, that's what the benefit of getting the Blu-ray is. All those behind the scenes, behind the episode featurettes that if you were following us on Twitter or wherever, we would retweet those whenever they'd come out. And usually be Dan Harmon, maybe a writer or director from that episode with clips from the episode talking about it more in depth. And that's essentially what's on the Blu-ray for all of those snippets for each one of the episodes, pulled from Adult Swim's website, high def versions of them. They're still really, really cool to listen to. It reminds me of just how much work they put into some of these episodes. Some of the themes that they talk about. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of a dive into those aspects. I'm sure they have I'm sure they had to have had tons of content in there to extrapolate just those particular points they made for those episodes. So yeah, I would have liked to have seen that.
That's why we were gonna write down the names of every person in those little clips, and then just work our asses off to get them on this podcast, and we'll see what happens. No promise. You will get them, and we will dig into those details.
I'm Liam Neesoning you. I will find you,
and I will record you. But there is one juicy bit of bonus content that you can only get on the physical discs, and that is a behind the scenes clip. It's called A Day at Rick and Morty. If you've purchased the Blu-ray and you've already watched this, terrific. If you're watching live, let us know in the chat that you've already done this. Otherwise, we're gonna go over a little bit about what is in the bonus content, and really talk about some of the takeaways that we saw from watching this clip. It's about just under 10 minutes long, and it was filmed on November 12th, 2019, almost a year ago at this point. Just imagine how little they knew about the year ahead of them.
The impending doom.
But yeah, it basically takes place in the offices where most of the animation takes place. Brandon, just to be clear, you did get a chance to watch this, correct?
Just so we're clear, that was the one thing I did not watch. The special features. I was making dinner, like a mashed potato with broccoli, and I was watching everything. For some reason, that's like the first thing on
the one thing we were supposed to talk about is the thing you didn't watch.
Yes.
All right, guys, we're leaving. We'll be back in 10 minutes.
Because I wasn't. Yeah. No, I don't. It's the first thing on the menu to watch too, and for some reason I was like, the first thing on there isn't going to be the one thing that's exclusive, right? It's it's going to be towards the bottom. So then I went to like the very bottom, which was animation issues or something like that, or character creation. It was one of those two.
Yeah.
And so I watched from the bottom up, and then I was like, okay, well, one of these must be something I hadn't seen before.
All right. Well, we'll get through this the best we can. I'm gonna be driving most of this story train into the station, but I watched it. I watched it more than once, so I watched it for both of us, Brandon. And the first person that we meet in this behind the scenes is Sydney Ryan, a producer for the show, and she is sort of in charge of making things happen, making sure that the show stays on schedule, that things are happening. And a big takeaway for me in the things that she was saying was that the hardest part about this show is keeping it on schedule. And I think, okay, well, that's something we can all probably guess, right? Because considering how Brandon is just eating Pringles while I talk about the bonus features, available at a Walmart store near you, in the United States only. But she also talks about the cast and crew on this show, specifically the animation staff and the writers being, quote, the best of the best and having to be on their A game because of how demanding the show is. That's one of those things that I think we take for granted as fans of the show. I know there is a lot of, I'll say, harassment on the social internet, especially towards Dan Harmon, whenever he's doing something else and people are like, all right, enough about that, make more Rick and Morty. There is a lot of expectation from fans, like, why isn't the show out now? Why aren't we watching season 5 already? And I feel like this clip really does a great job of showing why it takes a long time to make the show, the demanding schedule that is on the crew, and the fact that sometimes like things happen and it just makes it really difficult to churn the show out. And
yeah, well, in one of the episode features, right, with Brian Newton talking about, for one crew over the cuckoo's Morty, like 900 character assets for that one episode. It's a ton of work, and with script rewrites happening here, there, and everywhere, custom props being made for in the animation, turnarounds, all that type of technical jargon. Like, yeah, there's a lot of stuff to it. And even like the HBO Max stuff on Twitter that we were retweeting, it's like, season 4, it's on HBO Max, and just bombarded with, hey, yo, bros, we gotta ask, where's season 5? That type of stuff. So.
Which kind of leads me into another really surprising thing from this, series of clips, this sort of documentary, 10-minute documentary, is there's a lot of mention of work on season 5 in this little documentary thing. And we're talking about November 12th, 2019. We're talking a year ago. They already had scripts and were beginning to work on animation assets for season 5. So if that's any indicator of how long this process is, how long it takes to do some of this stuff, I think, the quality of the show, the fact that we love the show and expect it to be high quality, that's in no small part due to the amazingly talented people who are putting in all this work to make sure that it happens. I was a little surprised. I didn't fully realize that Steve Levy was an associate producer, or at least holds the associate producer credit on Rick and Morty. I tend to think of Steve as Dan's assistant, or because of his history on Harmontown, especially. But yeah, there are some clips with him discussing the fact that they're working on both season 4 and season 5, and how he mentions even that they are a little bit behind on season 5 in November of 2019, and that and to think about how structured the production schedule has to be to make sure that episodes can come out, almost a year later potentially, and realizing that you're already behind on that, that's just crazy to me. So I found that really interesting to see how much just goes into making the show great.
Yeah. Steve Levy's name has been on the credits for forever in a day, but I don't recall him being producer necessarily. It was Dan's assistant. You're right. You're right about that. No. To your point on the how long a season takes, when they didn't have a contract, then they got the contract, then they could start writing, then they could start the animation. Then we waited a year and a half for things for 5 episodes, not even the entire season. And by all reports, it being rushed in so many extra hours of work to get that knocked out. It's understandable. It's understandable.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, moving on from that, you have a series of notes in here about things we noticed, and so I want to talk about the things we noticed in the clip.
I wrote that with the anticipation that you would actually watch it and add to the list of things that we noticed.
You asked me if the show notes looked good, and I said, yeah, they look good.
I didn't read them, but they look good.
I did read them. I was like, I don't know where he's getting I don't know which one he watched that I didn't, but that's a good note. So things we noticed about it. The look of The Office. One of the things that kind of jumped out at me was the kind of open concept with unfinished warehouse look of the studio.
Yeah, what did you think about that?
Well, you got to cut costs somewhere. So put them in an un-air conditioned building, a warehouse probably somewhere in Burbank or Glendale. There's a bunch of empty warehouses down there, and then you can go to, well, it used to be Tower Records, or Capitol Records. I think it's gone now. Anyway, so I think that's interesting. That open concept means more collaboration from that type of standpoint. You wrote in here lots of sticky notes.
Yeah, that's one thing you see a lot of as you're watching through this. Producers having lots of sticky notes in front of them, and then like storyboard artists, using sticky notes to track script changes or other things that are happening. Just everywhere, lots of sticky notes of like, all right, let me take this little note and make sure I'm keeping up with all of these quickly changing things about the show.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting. I mentioned jokingly about Scrum Master in Agile and stuff like that, and they're big on the sticky notes and the being able to like have a task on the sticky note, like be able to move it around and shift around. And even my wife, she's homeschooling our son, and she has a bunch of sticky notes with lessons plans, and she's like, take it off, take it out. And she tried to do it on the computer at first, and it's way more difficult. And I've tried doing it on the computer, like digital sticky on the desktop. Mm-hmm. It just doesn't work because then I cover it up with porn and Rick and Morty Blu-ray stuff,
Well, and it's a lot easier to hand a sticky note to someone. Like if you're a producer and, okay, I have this change, and then hand that to a storyboard artist or hand that to the props guy. And then they take it from there. And then maybe they have to hand that off to someone else instead of like, oh, let me drop that in Slack and then tag these people, or send an email.
I'm going to airdrop you a reminder.
Yeah, it's so much better. Also in this office, which wasn't a shock to me because it is an animation studio, but all the Cintiq tablets. If you're not familiar with Cintiq, like these are like the screens that people draw on for animation. So it's almost like a second monitor, but sometimes they have them like up at an angle, or sometimes they lay them flat. But a lot of the artists are drawing directly onto screens and doing a lot of their animation that way, which I mean makes sense. It is 2020. There's very little like paper and pencil coming into play these days in animation. But that is something that kind of like triggered in my mind watching this, is the amount of technology that goes into animating Rick and Morty. And I guess just sort of in my ignorance, not appreciating fully how much this is like a computer animated show, even though it doesn't look like 3D all the time, right? I think I sort of associate that sort of like 3D animation with computer animation, and I don't really think about the fact that Rick and Morty is like completely done on computers. And when they have to reanimate a character because they change a line or they change some dialogue, they're just like changing like how the mouth moves digitally, so that, and then can render it for that final version. And there's a little bit of behind the scenes of them doing some of that, and I was like, that is so cool. It's so awesome that they can like change things around and make those changes, as stressful as they might be, and however much it might impact several artists whenever one small change might happen. It is impressive. It is really impressive.
Yeah, Erica Hayes in the directing Rick and Morty short talks about having to be so organized and having to keep up with the amount of changes that are going on with the animation, with characters or rewrites, and how one thing affects another down the road. You have here the challenges of rewrites and animated storyboards. What was that about?
I'm trying to figure out where I put that.
It's under things we noticed.
Oh, yeah. That and I think that is what it is, right? Is just that and lots of people talk to this point in their interviews, but the fact that this show is often rewritten almost right up until before it airs. And when that happens, it's not like you can just have somebody come in and react out a scene or something like you have to sometimes completely change a scene, and that requires multiple animators, sometimes background artists, sometimes they have to come up with new characters or things like that. So there's a lot that goes into those changes, and that I don't know if it was like intentionally put in there where it was like, all right, fans, we know you love this show. We know you want as much new Rick and Morty as possible. Here's how hard it is to make a show that's this good. And I don't know if it was like an attempt to show fans, like, here's all the work that goes into making the show possible. Cut us some slack. We're doing our best, right? Like which I think has sort of been the opinion of this podcast, is always, we respect the artists. We're thankful for all the time and effort that goes into making the show. And we understand that it can sometimes take a while to get all of that put together.
Yeah. Erica Hayes saying no break this time. Was that in reference to them never having a break in between episodes and just always working? Or was that regard to season 5?
So it's a season 4-5 sort of no break, right? In that clip, she is actually doing cleanups for the season 4 finale. She's actually drawing Rick when he's sitting in the garage watching the memory of the Beths and things like that. So, which that's the other part about this whole thing is seeing them work on some of the scenes and storyboards and things from season 4 episodes. It's so cool. It's so cool seeing the guy do the storyboard art for the Phoenix person Rick fight and all this. Like, it's that alone to me, like my appreciation for animation just nerds out watching that stuff. But yeah, Erica's talking about, you know, the breaks that they've had in the past, and she basically looks right at the camera and she's like, there's no breaks between 4 and 5, saying that they are just working right through and continuing to produce these new episodes, which makes me excited, makes me hopeful that we're gonna see season 5 sooner than later. And I think they are working to build in a little bit of cushion, maybe, so that it lowers that, you know, intense pressure to continually have to work and make sure that they're coming right up against some deadlines sometimes to make sure that these shows get out whenever Adult Swim says that they're going to air.
Yeah. The Adult Swim at Home, when they were talking about Rick and Morty, Dan talking about Rick and Morty and writing it on Zoom, right? That it in some ways it may have made them more effective or streamlined it a little bit, because you don't have as much time to we talked about on here before. You don't have as much time to wait for somebody to get the joke or laugh. He's like, here's a joke. Did it work? Okay, somebody didn't like it. Okay, well, we can move on. Don't have time to feel awkward about it for 30 minutes, you know.
You're not trying to resell it over and over again either. Like, yeah.
Get it? Last will intestine mint.
That's a good callback. I want to call out some more specific folks. The character designers that are featured in this little documentary: Carlos Ortega, Justin Noel, Carrie Kilpella, I think that's how you'd say her name, and Alyssa Phillips. All of these folks are featured, and you get to see a little bit of the work that they do to create some of the many characters that we see in Rick and Morty. And almost every episode of Rick and Morty has at least a handful of original characters. I thought it was cool to see some of the challenges that they face in terms of, you know, what goes into making a new character. Also, all of we've talked about turnarounds where they have to draw the character from every angle so the animators know what they look like from all sides. They also go a step further than that and have to draw them in all these like unique poses and different things like that, so that an animator will know, all right, when this Zeus falls out of the sky onto this civilization, this is how his arm should look. This is how, like, this is the angle that his legs should be in, or whatever. So that stuff was really cool. Kendra Melton, who is a lead character designer, also talked about the impact that standards and practices has on sort of character design, because they will sometimes design a character and sometimes incorporate all kinds of blood and guts and different things like that. And then that goes to S&P and they're like, yeah, no, maybe not so much of that. And so then it comes back and they have to edit that and continue. So I thought that was really interesting that they have to work that balance sometimes with the fact that it is going on even cable TV, and making sure that they don't push those lines quite as far as Justin Roiland would on his Instagram.
The standards and practices thing, that reminds me of I think it was on Twitter. Matt Selman from The Simpsons was talking about the classic Itchy and Scratchy Land episode where It's making fun of, it's parodying Westworld and Jurassic Park. So they go to Itchy and Scratchy Land. The robots take over, and it's just like super violent, and the robots are attacking everybody. And they were just saying that standards and practices, they were telling them they couldn't do it, or they couldn't show a lot of this violent stuff. So they just that Itchy and Scratchy Land episode was a kind of answer to that. Be like, no, we're still gonna do this.
Yep. Yep.
We'll show you.
And then it's not on Disney Plus or something. I don't know.
It is. Oh, it is.
Oh, it is.
Oh, it is.
One last thing I want to talk about is the interview with David Marshall, who is an animation supervisor. Talks about the very specific writing in this show and how I think what he probably means about specific writing is not just dialogue, but oftentimes very specific about how things should look or how things should be, I don't know, maybe blocked out in a scene. That as those things change in a script, that generates lots of changes for the animation team, which, again, we've talked about over and over again, creates challenges and delays. So, very specific expectations from Dan Harmon resulted, often a lot of other changes.
In one of the character shorts, one of the animators creating a character for the dragons. They're like, create a dragon with a bunch of shit on it, and so she drew a dragon with a bunch of actual shit on it. And they're like, no, we don't mean like actual shit. We meant like baubles or gems or stuff like that. And she's like, well, I mean, that's, you don't know what this show.
It's not beyond the expectation for the show. That could very much be what the writers were expecting. David also talks about getting final dialogue, quote, quick enough to put it on the air, which I feel like seems just exhausting to me, that here's the final dialogue, now animate it real quick so we can have this on Sunday night, and they're like Friday afternoon editing things or something like that. That timeline to me, for whatever reason, I've always had this expectation that animation is done and is sitting in a can somewhere for weeks or months before it finally gets aired on TV and or in a theater. I had that expectation about animated films as well. And then I watched that behind the scenes making of Frozen 2 on Disney Plus because it's 2020 and COVID is a weird time. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to watch about their animation process. And they were editing and recutting that movie up until the week of the premiere or something crazy like that. And so, yeah, animation has some crazy deadlines, and sometimes they work right up to those deadlines. And so, again, all of that said, I really appreciate all of the work that the artists put into this, and I feel like this was a great glimpse into their process, highlighting not everybody, unfortunately, but at least a lot of people that put in a lot of hard work to make the show possible. I didn't mention all of them in this podcast. Highly recommend if you go out and buy the Blu-ray, or you've got a friend that lives on your street that you can socially distance watch it from their front lawn or something. Yeah, check out this behind the scenes feature because I think it will help, especially if you have no idea what goes into making animation. We'll show you a lot about what goes into making the show possible.
Definitely. I will check it out after we finish recording here. The one thing I will say about all of the features here, season 1, season 2, season 3, they had episode commentary. And so to me, well, this DVD, this Blu-ray doesn't have episode commentary, and so that was kind of shocking to me. I think that's a missed opportunity as far as the Blu-ray goes. But what I will say is this: what it's actually done is given us an opportunity, Travis. It has provided us a unique opportunity to create episode commentary for each of the episodes of season 4. Well, you can download it, and then you can watch the commentary with the episode.
That's right. So if you want to hear two guys who've never worked on the show Rick and Morty,
don't sell it like that. Don't sell it like that. If you want to hear two guys who love Rick and Morty and love talking over an episode, we might not even say anything about Rick and Morty itself. We might just be talking about what we had for dinner last night. By the time we record this, it'll be...
But it will at least loosely reference the running time and sometimes scenes from episodes from season 4 of Rick and Morty. Yeah, we'll come up with a more concrete plan for that, and then maybe we'll just put those out for folks on Patreon or something like that. I don't know. We'll do something. We'll make our own commentaries. We'll do it. What else we got to do?
We'll do it. We'll do it.
All right. Well, those are our thoughts on the season 4 Blu-ray and the bonus features. If there's anything we missed or something that you want to know more about, I can't talk right now, which is problematic for a podcast. But if you have any thoughts, make sure to hit us up on Twitter at Rick and Morty Pod or anywhere else. And it is now time for our final segment, listener suggestions and short outs. First short out, I wrote it down at the beginning of the episode. Joining us live, I think on YouTube. Yes, YouTube. Welsh Girl wants to know where I got my Rick and Morty shirt. I'm wearing a black shirt with Rick just in a pink background. There it is.
Looks good. Looks solid.
This is available at Old Navy.
Old Navy?
Old Navy. Yeah, I was in an Old Navy. Didn't expect to see Rick Sanchez, especially a shirt that was as unique as this one. I really liked it. And two of my kids said, "Dad, you need that shirt." And I said, "Yes, I will be buying it." So Old Navy, if you want the Rick in a pink border shirt.
That's right. I want to shout out all the other folks who have been commenting, listening. Of course, Scary Terry Folds, Welsh Girl. We mentioned our Canadian friend who can't get the Rick and Morty
Pringles
at the local Walmart. D Squeeze, LeBrian Pates over on Facebook. On our first night,
we got Facebook viewers.
Hell yeah! Punker Bean was here. Justin was here for a little bit on like 6 different streaming devices. And if I'm missing anybody, R10 and X, you're in here as well. Thank you everybody for hanging out with us live. And after we're done recording, we're gonna hang out for a little bit longer. And I have stories to tell.
Absolutely. If you want to be part of the hangout, if you want to be part of the show,
Sire Darks was here too.
Sire Dark was here. Hey, Sire Dark's been lurking the whole time. Yeah, make sure that you follow us on Twitch or subscribe over on YouTube. You can get notifications whenever we go live with any of our podcasts or just a random stream that we may do on occasion as well. But yeah, we also do a post show. As soon as we're done recording the podcast proper, we will hang out and just hang out with some of the fans that are watching and listening along. So make sure to tune in for that Monday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern time. You have an extra hour in your day now. Daylight savings is over. You can hang out on a podcast for a little bit. But yeah, join us and have some fun. Brandon, we did it. Another Interdimensional RSS. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling up there. I'm feeling. I'm like a bird, slip away. I don't know Rick and Morty. I don't know where's the motive.
We don't have a license for this song.
It's a cover.
It's a cover.
It's Creative Commons.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. If you're new to the show, let us know. We'd love to hear what you guys think. And until next time, I'm Travis.
And I am Brandon. See you later.
Okay, bye.
Unless you're on the stream with us right now. Don't go away. I just have to finish the music. But I'm going to edit this part out just by I'll trim the WAV file. You won't hear any of this.
It's really important, like audio stuff. I don't even understand it. I don't know.
Stop talking, Brandon, and then cut it, and then like trim it. It's non-destructive editing, and so like you can trim it that way, trim it this way. It's not destructed. It's not destructed.
Let's talk about, first off, thank you guys for being amazing. Thank you for joining us on whatever platform you're on, whether it's Twitch or YouTube or Facebook, Twitter. Where else are we? I think you can get us on your Samsung smart fridge now. We're everywhere. We're everywhere. So thank you guys so much for hanging out. I want to start off by talking about the fire in your belly. I want to talk about Brandon eating fire today. How are you feeling, Brandon? You made it through the podcast. You did it.
For those who are watching, there is what they call the one chip challenge, which is by a brand named Paqui, Paqui. They make really hot chips. I'm not a huge fan of their flavor, but you know, their claim to fame is hot chips, and there is a single chip that they sell, which has I have to look it up. Let's see. One chip challenge. All right. It is the Paqui one chip challenge. I don't need to see all these people talk about it. It's our spiciest lineup ever, featuring the world's hottest pepper, the Carolina Reaper, along with a new 1-2 punch from scorpion pepper and Sichuan peppercorn. Your taste buds will be begging you to tap out. Do you have what it takes to go head to head with the Reaper? Jesus. Take one chip challenge if you dare. So I did that. I got one chip, and I tried it. My son bought it because he thought it would be fun to watch me sweat. And so I did. I did that today. Like I wrapped my hand with cellophane and put it in a plastic bag so I wouldn't get any spice on it. And I unwrapped the thing. They're filming me, and I took a bite, and I took like a third of the chip. I was like, "Oh shit, this is hot," and I didn't know if I was going to be able to do any more of it. But I was like, if I don't, then I'm going to be mad that I didn't do the whole thing. And Chelsea, my wife, said, "Yeah, don't let anybody peer pressure you." I'm like, "No, I got to do this.
You're like, there's a video camera in my face, and and Travis is going to want to see this. I gotta commit. I gotta commit."
Yeah. And so then I bit another third of it, and then I was like, you just got to go all in, and then I threw the rest of it in my mouth. So it's hot. It's hot. If you're not used to hot things, then you're not gonna like it. If you think pepper is too hot, then like just regular black pepper, then you will die. You will literally die with this. It's not fun. It doesn't mean it tastes all right, but it's not like, ooh, if only this wasn't so hot, I would eat this all the time. Your tongue, it feels like like somebody took like fine grained sandpaper. It was like across your tongue. And it's like it's just like your whole mouth is just burning, and like your eyes water, and you're like, don't touch anything. And then eventually it starts to subside. Everybody goes on, laughs at you, and then they do their own thing. And then I just start tracking a fucking burning sensation going through my intestines all day long. and I was like, please get through before we record a podcast, because I don't know if it's gonna come out during the podcast itself. And I think it's far enough down, like it's probably towards like my mons pubis, like that piece of my intestine. It's at a place where I can't feel it right now.
Okay.
Which means I'll probably wake up in like 2 hours being like, Chelsea, God, fuck. That's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen.
Just right there in the bed, just a pool of devil's fire. Used to eat those ghost pepper chips at lunch every day, trying to find a code to win one of those Reaper chips. No regrets. All right. That's... I mean, I eat Doritos spicy nacho chips. We have like the flaming hot chips all the time, but
and I hate to sound like a wuss when it comes to the chip, because I could handle it, and I didn't drink milk at all. I didn't drink anything for an hour or so.
I will say I watched the video of Brandon eating it, and it is he doesn't seem very affected by it. Like, you can tell he's processing some things, but he's not freaking out. He's not like dumping water on his face. He's not going all like, oh, I'm crying and snot's running out of my nose. He's like, yeah, it's pretty hot.
This is why Chelsea doesn't like doing things to surprise me, because I do not give that reaction. We talk about this all the time. I do not give excited emotional reactions ever. The best thing that can happen to me, I'm like, hey, all right, cool.
Oh.
I love that.
Okay, good thing.
Chelsea said on the video, I think she caught it on the video, like, I don't think we want to post this on Packy's website, because you're not their ideal chip challenge person.
Yeah, you're not like it'll melt your face.
Oh, like
and,
that.
And then there's Brandon, who's just like, it's hot. I got a plastic bag on my hand. What do you want me to do?
Yeah, they need the people to, oh, this is the hottest thing I've ever had.
What's in my eyes? And then it cuts to the scene from Raiders of the Lost Ark, where the face is literally melting off.
Like nothing like that. Like that's what they want.
That's what they want.
That's what they want.
That's what they want you to think.
I wanted to make more noise, but that's the most reaction anybody will ever get out of me, is if I'm making fun of giving reactions.
R10NX talking about that they like Takis now.
Yeah, Takis.
Takis.
Tiki Taki.
Okay, those rolled
those
tortilla
bugles.
chips. Here's my hot take. On Takis. I don't like them. I don't think the flavor is good, and it's not the heat, it's the lime. I'm not fired up about the lime. I'm sorry. Lime in the right scenario, I'm fine with, but
refreshing summer beverage.
Yeah, exactly. Which I heard there's like a type that doesn't have the lime, which I'd probably be interested in, but yeah, I don't like the flavor, so I don't eat them. I don't
blame you. I don't blame you for not liking them. I didn't like fiery hot Cheetos for a while, and then I think it was my brother Brett who got me into them, and I like them now, and my sister-in-law Lauren, she likes them. Yeah, just now I love them. Now I love them.
Flamin' Hot Cheetos are like a staple in my house and in my extended family. There's
Yeah,
a lot
Flaming-
of love
Flaming
for
Hot.
Flamin' Hot. You can. I like when Taco Bell used to have the fiery taco. They have their Doritos Locos tacos, but then they did like a fiery one. Those where the shell was like that.
Yeah.
That slaps, as the kids are saying. Uh,
Do you like the Flaming Hot Cheetos with lime? That's Scary Terry full.
no, come on.
Have you tried those ones?
I think I have. I'm pretty.
Mm.
Yeah, I have because they came in like a multi-pack of various single serve Flamin' Hot chip bags. Yeah.
I don't like the Flaming Hot. Well, they're not Flaming Hot. They're just like the jalapeno.
The cheddar jalapeno Cheetos.
Yeah, I'm not.
Those are delicious, man. What are you talking about?
Yeah. I just didn't like them.
Those are my youngest kid's favorite, and we recently discovered they now make a line of Cheetos brand macaroni and cheeses. They
really?
make a Flamin' Hot mac and cheese and a cheddar jalapeno mac and cheese, and that stuff is pretty good too. Zero nutritional value whatsoever, I'm sure, but pretty dang tasty. I gotta say.
I went to the store after eating that chip because I was like, what do I want for dinner? And I bought some steak, and I was like, I need to have something that coats my my intestines. So I'm like, what would be good for that? You know what? Maybe mac and cheese. And then I was looking at the mac and cheese, like just like Stouffer's or whatever the pre-made stuff is, and I said, nah, that's gonna stop me up. That's probably the last thing I need to happen is to be stopped up for it.
Just have this raging fire burning a hole in your intestine.
Yeah. Oh geez, just like slowly melting, just the scorching my my innards. It's just like not even just like it's just it's like an Alien, the Alien movies, right? Like when they shoot an alien and like its blood splatters and then it just like it melts through the metal.
The acid blood melts through. Yeah. That would be
That's
that chip in your intestine. Yeah.
That's actually the second Alien reference I've made for this painful chip. The first one is talking about tracking it through my intestine. It's like an Alien, so they're like, boonk, boonk, boonk. It's coming close. Boonk, 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 boonk. It says it's right on us, and then just no, and then aliens get them.
Yeah, there you go. So to end the story, Brandon ate a hot chip. That's what we got out of that. And I don't eat things that are that spicy. I don't know. I feel like part of me wants to, like, I want to eat something really spicy just to be like, all right, I've done it. But at the same time, there's no part of me that's like, yeah, I want to be in pain for something that's maybe not going to taste good at all. Like, I don't have that part of me that's like, yeah, give me the most scorching hot wing on the menu because I'll get a t-shirt or my picture on the wall. I'll just be like, yeah, just go like 3 or 4 down and give me that one and I'll eat that. Yeah, well, it's spicy. It's good.
It was the show Heat Seekers, which was on Food Network for a while with Ron Sanchez, where him and the other dude went around just getting, doing all these spicy challenges.
Getting ulcers.
Yeah. I did worry about that today. With just like, if it doesn't taste good, then yeah, it's painful. In other news, it was Halloween.
Yes, yeah, we had a holiday, a hallowed holiday
recently, and we did that thing. That was fun. One of the things I wanted to do on Halloween that I didn't get to it because I fell asleep was I wanted to stream, because some horror films are public domain and you can watch them on YouTube, download them on archive.org. and so you can watch them on YouTube or watch them on Twitch, whatever. And so I wanted to watch a horror film and stream it that Saturday night, and I made an overlay. It was a crappy overlay, so I'm glad I fell asleep. And I'm like, you know what? This could be fun. This could be fun to do. And then I realized it's an election tomorrow night, and you know what? What better movie to watch on an election night where the fate of the world is going on and there's sheeple and zombies all over the place than watching the public domain film Night of the Living Dead. So I think I'm going to do that tomorrow. I tried to get you to do an apathetic enthusiasm, but you're like, no, I want to watch election coverage. I want to see the fate of the free world. Which, I mean, it's not gonna be settled tomorrow night, you know.
No, I know that. And that's why I took the entire week off, so that my anxiety can just bubble and fester throughout the week. But depending on what time you start, maybe I will tune in with you to watch a movie I've never seen before.
Yeah. That's then I'll wait for you. I'll wait for you, and then you'll be so drunk that you won't remember it anyway.
Yeah, it's gonna be great, guys. It's gonna be great.
It will be great. So I'm looking forward to that. I'll probably spend a lot of time tomorrow working on the overlay to make sure it like the alerts are there, and I have my phone attached to OBS, and so what I can do is I can periodically still do election coverage just to see what. You know, pull like a screenshot in or whatever.
Every time we get the returns in from a state, we can be like, hold on, we a pause in the zombie action. Apathetic enthusiasm can now predict that California will be won by Joe Biden. Yeah. If we had planned this in advance, we could have done our own coverage and just taken all of the actual journalism from other people and just used their overlays and stuff.
We could have. I still can.
I mean, I got time. I can make some graphics. I don't know. We'll see how determined we are for tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, I thought about all that type of stuff to have like get a screen, like open up a web browser, capture up the web browser of like the CNN or whatever ticker that's going on, and just get that piece and put it on the bottom of the screen. Could do it. Could do it.
Who knows? But we may be doing doing back-to-back streams 2 nights in a row, guys.
A live electoral map with like the zombies. Here's the zombies are taking over this part of the U.S.
I want you to just draw the United States on your stomach, and then we'll color in each state as the night goes on.
We can do that.
Yeah, whatever. We'll think of something.
So stay tuned tomorrow, because even if I don't say anything, there'll be a movie on, and that's what I'm looking forward to.
So yeah, so stick around. We'll have that happening. What else is going on with you guys? We still got some folks hanging out in the chat. What's new? This was a Rick and Morty night. Any Rick and Morty related thoughts, discussion, comments?
Yeah, has anybody read the first issue of Ever After, the Rick and Morty comic? Because I have not. I have not. I think it came out last week or the week before, maybe. But it takes me forever to get to my comic store to actually pick up my subscriptions. And they're probably like, Brandon, get your comics out of our store. We already have your money. We'll throw them away.
Just take them. And here's some chips while you're at it. Did you mute yourself while eating that potato crisp, or are you just so savvy at eating quietly that I didn't hear any of that?
There's a mute button over on this Rodecaster, and so whenever I'm like, I don't want people to hear the sound of my chewing, I just go, "See you later."
and he does it. That's what I need. I need that button over here for every time I get a tickle in my throat, and I'm like, I need a cough button.
Yeah,
So
earlier, my dog was barking really loudly, and I was like, "Bye."
See ya. I'll be muted while Travis is talking.
Yeah.
Have been reading the comics. You know what I have done is I've been introducing my oldest child to the show Lost, which was huge in our family. Still is huge. I have a Dharma drinking glass here. As Brandon shoves more chips into his face. So yeah, we've watched like 6 episodes already. We started yesterday. I feel like I'm just gonna plow through watching Lost with my kid, which is kind of fun because I haven't watched that show in about 10 years. So it's good times. It's good times.
Yeah, I like Lost. All right.
Yeah. Also, that's sort of how me and Brandon became friends. Was the show Lost?
Kind of. Yeah.
I don't know where my Charlie is. Where's my Charlie?
The last weekend, Matt and I, Sizemore. Oh yeah, look at Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
We bought Civilization. It was like Civ 6 was like $20 on Amazon, and we bought it for the Xbox. And him and I, we played a whole ton of Civilization 6, and I stayed up till like 3-4 in the morning with him playing it, and then we went to sleep, and then we woke up 3 hours later, and then we started playing again. Yeah, man, Civ is so damn addicting when you actually get into it.
Yeah.
But it's the getting into it that's the hard part, especially like when there's so much complicated, like you don't know the research, the research chain, like what leads to what and how you want your civilization to win. I won with a religious victory. I formed a new religion called Big Old Jugs, and I spread them big old jugs all across
the world.
Yeah, like Egypt adopted big old jugs, Spain big old jugs, and in order to win a religious victory, you gotta get a majority of all the civilizations that are out there to adopt your religion. Man, you've never seen so much big old jugs.
Just worldwide.
Worldwide. But yeah, it's fun game. What do you have you?
Oh,
have
hold
you
on, because I'm getting lost questions in the chat.
Oh,
now.
Okay. Sorry.
No, it's good because we can discuss this together. Evening, Alex. How's it going?
There's a lost question.
Yeah, a lost question. So if you're for some reason
Alex,
have never seen the show Lost, close your ear holes for a minute. Was John Locke always on the island? No, I don't believe he was. And back in 2008 or something, before the final season of Lost, I wrote an extended dissertation about how John Locke died and became and was embodied by the smoke monster and all this stuff. I think John Locke was an actual guy who, when he came to the island, was able to walk again, and then stuff happened, and in end of season 5, during season 5, he ends up being replaced by the smoke monster, if memory serves. But yeah, that's my take on it. I don't think he was always there.
No, he wasn't always there. No. Jacob and his brother, Smokey the Bandit. Smokey eventually, once John Locke died, then Smokey inhabited the body. And so everyone's like, oh, wait, John is back. But it wasn't actually John at that point in time.
Yeah. Yeah. The ending of the show, like, I think I've only watched the series finale once. So I'm very interested to watch this entire series again with my kid all the way up to the end and see how I feel about it like 10 years later. Because I still root for the show. I still declare it as one of my favorite shows of all time. And so, it's, it wasn't a perfect ending. They didn't exactly stick the landing, but I still like the show.
Yeah, I still like it too. Does it make more sense knowing the ending? That's something that you're gonna have to get in once you're further into the show. I mean, that last season, it's not really super important as far as the canon goes, I guess. They're resolving what the island is, and they're putting a cork in the island so the energy doesn't escape and stuff like that. But
I think that's finish your thought, because
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
I think the thing with Lost is we as fans, as the show was coming out, we always got hung up on the mysteries of what is going on with the island and what's happening and who, like, what's going on with all these weird things on the island. But I think the show was always intended to be about the people. And, obviously that's why the show focuses on specific characters. It uses flashbacks to tell their backstories and do character development through those processes. So when the show resolves with a resolution that is strictly about the characters, I think that's where a lot of people get frustrated, because they want every mystery to be solved. And that was the driving force of the show. But in reality, it was really supposed to be focused on this group of people who've come together. And also, I think it was originally supposed to be purgatory from the beginning, and too many people guessed that halfway through season 1, and they're like, "Oh, we got to rewrite it. People are smarter than we gave them credit for."
I'm with all of that. What I guess what I'm saying is, like, in the 6th season, it was always a narrative device. Every season was, let's switch up the narrative devices. It's like flashbacks, flash forwards, flash sideways. By the time we got to season 6, and there was actual time travel at some point in time. But then season 6 was flash sideways, and then everyone's like, oh, what's this sideways flashing about? If you look at season 6 as far as there are 2 different stories happening at one time, you can take the flash sideways and make that a season by itself.
Yeah,
like that story has nothing to do with all the stuff that's happening on the island, and I think that's part of what I think is confusing to folks for season 6 is everything that was happening on the island was actually happening at that time. Yeah. All this other heaven waiting room stuff was inconsequential to this piece of the plot.
Yeah. Anyway, Lost. I'm torturing my kid by making them watch it with me. But
sorry.
No, she's hooked. She's already hooked, and she's like wanting me to go watch more of that show.
Alex Whiteley, our buddy, been on his podcast before. Remember Lost in 24 being the start of a box set trend. What a time to be alive, right?
My box set, my Lost complete series Blu-ray box set is one of my prized possessions, and it comes in like a little like ruins thing, and it's actually got mysteries. It has a hidden disc in it. Like there's mysteries built into the box set itself. It's back. We want to talk about Blu-ray, boxes. Yeah, no, this is chump change compared to the Blu-rays of old. That when a real box set. Also, like 25 episodes in the first season of Lost. Oh my gosh! Remember when shows had 25 episodes in a season?
Yeah, it's crazy. I think what kept me from
And
watching
the best television was on ABC.
What kept me from watching all of Twin Peaks, the second season, was knowing that a lot of the second season wasn't as good as the first, and everything wasn't resolved until the very end of the season. But knowing that, with how long the seasons were, because there was like 22 episodes or whatever, and knowing that the actual storyline started to resolve when David Lynch came back, is like episode 19. Like, okay, well, I'll start back there.
No.
I think like the Flash. We talked about this on AE a long time ago. The Flash television series I started watching on Netflix. I got through like 3 episodes of it and I enjoyed it. And I was like, oh God, there's 50 more episodes in this first season. I'm just gonna skip to the end. And so I just watched like the double parter season finale with like Reverse Flash or whatever. And I was like, okay, yeah, that was good. You know what? I guess I don't need to watch this show anymore.
Yeah. I every time I try to watch like The Flash or Supergirl or any of those shows, I just taper off. I lose interest. I watch 5-10 episodes and then I'm just like, all right, well, let's see what else exists in the world. Yeah, go ahead.
Our 10 and X mentioning Blumhouse to reboot Lost. I know you haven't seen this, but Blumhouse, they made a Fantasy Island movie, which is a horror film, a Fantasy Island horror film.
Mm-hmm. I saw a trailer for it. I think,
yeah. It's decent. It's actually a decent movie, and it's it's a good story. Blumhouse could do that for Lost. I think. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, the purgatory stuff. The purgatory stuff is uninteresting to me.
Yeah, I don't like the theories that claim it was always like purgatory or something like that. I think it lowers the stakes of the show quite a bit. And as the show expands and you start season 1 with just this group of 40 some odd survivors, and then it expands into starting to learn about the Dharma Initiative, and then you learn about everything else that goes into it, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger until it's all this creation of the world type stuff with Jacob and all these other things. That to me is pretty interesting, and if all of that resolves with how the show ends, it I don't know. Maybe I'll feel differently after rewatching all 6 seasons, but for now, I still feel like I'm okay with what happened. So
yeah. I'm okay with the concept of it happening. I don't know if I'm okay with going back to watch it again. I would stick to my nostalgia and be like, it was pretty good. It was pretty good.
Yeah. That or I'll like break all my glasses and rip my keychain off of my keys and and apologize to my kid. So I don't know. We'll see. It's gonna be a weird couple months. All right. Well, what else is there to talk about? You guys feeling safe? You guys ready for the next week? Yeah. Everybody feel good?
Yeah, feeling good. I want to respond to the LeBron's comment here, talking about the one true Morty, and then mentioning Jacob and Jerry's parents again. Last time we saw them was in the Christmas episode, season 1, and I think they are. I think I saw in like a clip for the comic. I think it's in this Ever After comic that you see Jerry's parents again. I think. Maybe
Maybe they'll be written in to like a COVID storyline where They're doing Zoom calls with Jerry from their nursing home, and they haven't been able to see each other in 7 months. I fully expect there to be some references to this year in the upcoming season. I don't see how there can't be stuff in there.
There can't be. There has to be. There has to be. I got nasally all of a sudden.
Look at Angel Me in the chat. That's pretty epic. I like that. All right. Well, what else you got, Brandon? I don't know. I'm running out of stuff. Did you guys all set your clocks back?
I'm working. Yeah, I did. Going back to falling asleep early instead of streaming, I fell asleep fairly early, and I woke up at like 4 in the morning, and then I saw my microwave. I was like, 4 in the morning. Oh God, why am I awake? And I looked at my phone and it said 3, and I was like, what's going on? Well, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening here.
Have you explained to your son like the whole daylight savings concept? Like, is he grasp that well?
He hasn't really asked. In the cruises, we
don't talk about daylight savings time in this family.
Especially when we're younger, we doesn't matter. We just sleep as much as we can. It's not until we get older and then we start realizing how like quasi ambitious we are to stay up late and wake up early that we start waking up early.
Okay. I was explaining to my daughter. I think it was either Friday or Saturday during the day, and she's like 8, and I was like, yeah, well, we got to set the clocks back, so we're gonna have an extra hour. And she's like, what? I was like, yeah, it's the end of daylight savings time, so tomorrow night when we go to bed, we'll set all the clocks back 1 hour, and we'll get 1 extra hour of sleep before we have to get up. She's like, no, we don't do that. It's like, no, yeah, it's everybody's gonna turn their clocks back, and then it'll like what time it is now. It'll feel like it's an hour back. She did not believe me. Never believed me. And it wasn't until like we got up the next day and she looked at the microwave and she's like, or no, we were driving and I'm like, oh, we're running late. And she looked at the clock. She's like, we're an hour late, Dad. And I was like, no, we're not an hour late. We just didn't fix this clock yet. And she's like, what? I was like, I told you. And now we live in a world where our clocks set their own times if it's on your phone or something. So yeah, she thought it was an elaborate prank that I was trying to pull on her, which isn't daylight savings time really just an elaborate prank pulled on all of us at the same time?
I think so. He doesn't know what time it is any day. So an hour here, an hour there, it doesn't matter.
He doesn't have a bunch of appointments to get to. Like he doesn't keep a calendar.
Well, it's on his Apple Watch. Speaking of Apple products, I'm supposed to get my iPhone Pro 12 duplex next week sometime. So I'll review that.
All right, review that on the podcast. That's good. I'm excited to hear about the MagSafe options with your iPhone 12.
Oh yeah. I don't know what any of that means.
All right. Apple announced a new One More Thing event in mid-November. So
they announced a Columbo edition to the iPhone. Oh, you've never watched Columbo? His big thing is just one more thing.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's like Steve Jobs' big thing too. So.
Just one more thing. Like it's usually because in Columbo, man, Columbo's it's such a good show. Let's talk about Columbo. Okay. All right, everybody, we're here to talk about Columbo. Peter Falk. Columbo is such a good show, and here's what was unique about Columbo. Was it, every episode was basically a mini movie, and you found out right away who the perpetrator of the crime was. You knew at the start. It wasn't like a CSI Miami thing where you're like, who is it? It's not a Law and Order thing. Who is it? Who is it gonna be? Nuh-uh. In Columbo, you knew who the murderer was. You knew who the criminal was. And it was up to Columbo, old Columbo, Detective Columbo, Lieutenant Columbo, to go in and pull it out of the criminal. And so he, in his unassuming way, he would interview folks, and then he always knew who the criminal was, but he wouldn't come right out and say it. Right? He'd be asking him questions where, like, the criminal would be very cocky and like, yeah, I'm gonna get away with this type of thing, right? And Columbo would be like, oh yeah, oh you something blah blah blah. Yeah, it's very 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 smart. Yeah. Well, anyways, I guess I gotta get home to my wife. And then he starts walking off, and the criminal's like, oh, Columbo, stupid ass Columbo, stupid piece of shit, dumbass Columbo. And then all of a sudden, Columbo turns around, whips his hair, his long flowing Columbo hair. It puts a cigar in his mouth. He goes, you know what? One more thing. And then the criminal will be like, oh, one more thing. What is a one more thing? Like, it's funny that the knife just ended up being in the bushes. Why would a knife end up in the bushes? Yeah, I don't know. It's just the thought I had. Well, anyways, take care. And then he walks off. Columbo's got him. Columbo knows the score. We should watch Columbo. You know what? And then instead of Line of the Living Dead, let's watch
Columbo.
Yeah. Oh, R10X. Yeah, he's always searching for something in his jacket. Yeah. I forgot my keys. My wife's always telling me I forgot my keys. She said I'd lose my butt if it wasn't attached to my butt. But it's funny how these things work out. Well, if you find out anything about the knife, just go ahead and let me know. I'm Columbo. I'm changing my accent now.
I'm Columbo.
Yeah.
Where do you stream Columbo?
such a good show.
Columbo is you can watch 10 seasons on Peacock.
Yeah, Peacock. Yeah, Peacock's a good channel. Commercials in it.
I've never.
It's free, dude.
Yeah, it is. It's free. I guess I should.
So much stuff you can watch on Peacock for free with ads.
Not a sponsor. 10 seasons available on Peacock. All right. Well, there you go, guys. That's the Columbo episode.
One more thing. Hey, thanks for hanging out, Alex. I'm glad you got to hang out.
You got to see the throwaway version of the podcast. Yeah, I think it's considering this spiraled into a discussion about Columbo. We should probably wrap it up as well. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Have a great night. Have a great week. If you want to join us tomorrow night for whatever becomes of this stream, be sure to do that. You can follow us on Twitch, subscribe over on YouTube, and hit the notification bells or whatever if you want to be notified when we go live or when we post a new video. Otherwise, have a great evening. Be safe. Go vote if you haven't done it yet, and we will see you next time.
Wait, hold on a sec. Before you go, there's one thing that we need to talk about. And I know you're nervous about this, but it's just one more.
It's one more thing.
It's just one more thing. All right, that's all I got. I just
So stupid, guys.
He's interviewing. You see, back in 1976.
He's the grandpa from Princess Diaries, right? Or
Yeah.
Princess Bride, not Princess Diaries. Jeez.
Yeah. I love him. I love him.
The eel doesn't actually eat her. I could see you were worried. I could keep reading if you want. There's just one more thing.
This is one more thing.
Yeah.
When I put those
screeching eels,
diaries,
those rodents of unusual size, my wife always says if I didn't keep my rodents of unusual size on me. Anyway, all right, I'm gonna hang up. Bye, guys.